I could not see him and I freaked out.
Can we work it out? Only time will tell.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If it's the first time you're here, my name is borossy. I was diagnosed about 1.5 years ago with relapsing multiple sclerosis, and ever since I've been sharing my story with you guys. I've been sharing updates as and when things are happening, like, you know, symptoms and treatments and relapses and all those fun things. I do that throughout my vlogs, but also my sit-down videos. So if you haven't subscribed, I highly encourage you to do so. I upload every Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. my time. I live in Spain. Anyhow, we like to have also live chats when I have a new video go live. So if you want to have a live chat with me and the group, then you can. Anywho, so in today's video I wanted to talk to you guys about something scary that happened the other night. So I had been, not that I had been more stressed than before, I haven't had like too many extra things happening. Sometimes when you have new symptoms or you enter a relapse or you get a moment of increased symptoms, you think, oh, what did I do for this to happen? But actually, when you are diagnosed with MS, when you're dealing with this disease, it's very unpredictable. Like things can happen even though you're not stressed or even though nothing special have been going on. And that was the case the other night. So I've had multiple episodes of optic neuritis, and the last one was so severe I was hospitalized. This was last summer in June. I ended up having a relapse and I was admitted to the hospital for about a week. I got steroids treatment and things. I had vlogs of that, but ever since my vision have been reduced. So I did suffer from permanent disability from that relapse. It left my vision on my left eye quite reduced. The quality of my vision is great. Like I have very clear vision, but the vision field is reduced on my left eye. And sometimes I will experience double vision. Sometimes I will get like more floaties. I always have like spots and worms floating around in my eyes since before, but those got a little bit worse, and some days they are more. So that fluctuates, but the reduced vision field is always the same. So that's been a constant since last year, unfortunately. And the other night I was putting the kids to bed. I was lying next to my son in his bed. We had read a story, and I don't know if I actually fell asleep or if I was just closing my eyes for a bit, and I was quite drowsy when I then decided to leave when he had fell asleep. It was dark in the room, so I didn't even realize that, you know, something would be different. So it was almost pitch black in the room. I went out, I closed the door, I turned around to my fiance who was standing there in the living room waiting for me, and he said, oh, look at this, I have something to show you. I turn around, I look at him, and I realized that I could not see him. I could not see him, and I freaked out and I said, I cannot see you, Shuri. I call him Shuri. I was like, I'm trying to look at you, but I can't see you. Like, he was so blurry. Like, I didn't even see the outline of him. I only saw like a darker like space of something where he was standing. So I would say that the room was lighter color and his persona was just this big darker blob that I was looking at, but everything was just blurry and my eyes could not focus and I could not see him. So naturally I freaked out. I was like, I can't see you, I don't know what's going on. And he was like, are you having another relapse? And I said, I don't know. He was like, do we need to go to the hospital? I said, I don't know. And then he said, try to not panic. Let's just wait it out for a few minutes and see what happens. And he had to go to work that night, so I knew I was gonna be by myself with the kids. And obviously I got upset, so I started crying. And in the moment when my tears started to come to my eyes, for 2 seconds my vision cleared up. It was like the muscle of the eye was doing something differently in that moment when my tears came to the eye, and I could see for a brief moment. It was about 2 seconds, and then it went again, and I was like, oh no, it's gone again. And that happened like 2 times within, I want to say 10 minutes from when I started crying. And he just said, sit down and rest and try to relax. Hopefully it's gonna come back. You keep me updated and we see what we do. And I think it lasted for about just short of an hour maybe, where I had just no vision at all, except from when I started crying, and then one more time when I started crying more again, in a short like 10-minute gap. But like before then and after, it was in total like just short of an hour where I couldn't see anything. And when this happened was exactly a week before my next Ocrevus infusion. Today is Monday and I'm going in on Thursday for my infusion. And I remember saying to him, I don't want to go into the emergency room now, because the only thing they can do for me is to put me on steroids. And I know that when I have my infusion, I will get pre-treatment treatment. So they will give you a dose of steroids. And I was like, maybe, depending on if it clears up or not, I'll just wait for my next infusion and have that administered then, and hopefully that will be done with it, like that would be it. But I was so scared, like for a moment I thought I had lost my vision, and that's one of my big fears. I remember when I was just first diagnosed, and you start to think about all these scary things that can happen, and one of my biggest fears is to lose my vision. That's something I would think of sometimes. Like I try to not freak myself out. I try to not like always think of bad things. I try to stay positive, and I try to see the positive in everything and all of that. But you know, you have your fears, and on difficult days you can't help but be afraid, and that's completely normal. I know that, but even he was like, oh, please don't get blind, not yet. Yeah, so that was really hard. But I ended up calling into the hospital the following day to see if I could speak to my neurologist, but I can't call anyone. I can't call the neurologist. I have no MS nurse, nobody to contact. The only thing I can do if I experience something new is to go into the emergency room, and they will evaluate me, which I think is just wrong. But I did tell them to leave a message to my neurologist, so they're probably gonna schedule me in for an appointment. But I mean, when that happens, it's gonna be all too late. So I don't know. My question that I had for him was, could this be, because my last MRI was clear. I've shown that to you in a previous video. I got the results back and it said that I had no new active lesions, which was great. But this was obviously before this last thing happened, and I was just thinking that because I'm so close to my next infusion, maybe there was a little bit of a gap, maybe before, or where I could have a relapse. I don't know. But anytime something happens, it's important to tell your neurologist, because they need to evaluate if the treatment you are on is actually working. So in my case, if I were to have another relapse, that means that Ocrevus is probably not working for me. And if that's the case, then it's very important to know. So we shall see what happens next, but I wanted to share that with you in case you have experienced anything similar. Please let me know what happened and how you dealt with it, and if you feel like you got some answers from your MS team or whoever you have conversation with. But I wanted to share what happened, because I thought it was quite significant in my history, so I also wanted to document that on here so I can refer back, as well of like a time frame when things are happening. It's good for me to know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today, friends. More an update than anything else, but next video is most likely gonna be my infusion vlog for my 3rd dose of Ocrevus. So that marks 1 year on treatment, and I guess, I don't know, should we celebrate? I don't know, but that's the next vlog that's coming your way. So I speak to you guys soon. Have a wonderful day, and I send you much love and strength and all of that. I'll speak to you guys soon. Much love. Bye.
Can we work it out? Only time will tell. It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell.